my father was diagnosed with schizophrenia,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and I found that out at a very young age. Um, I found out as I was growing up, and then later on, I was always reminded of it, that I was born like 2.5 months early, because my father decided that it would be a good thing to try and get money from my mother,
Uh-huh.
and she was like 7.5, 8 months pregnant at the time, and he couldn't catch her, and he decided to throw a lead pipe at my
Wow.
mother,
My God.
and she, because it hit her in the head, she became unconscious, and there was a chance she was going to die and lose us at the same time. So me and my twin brother were born early, um, and this was all because of the mental issues that he was going through.
Yeah.
And honestly, I mean, just that alone was pretty big.
Did
Um,
you find out about this incident? Like, at what age were you told that this is what happened? Or did you always know?
um, no, I didn't. I had no idea until probably when I was a teenager. Um, I don't think it was something that was hidden, but my mom she liked to keep like some of those things to herself because um,
Yeah.
maybe because of one reason, like maybe embarrassment or just trying to protect us, which would have been a big reason. Uh, she would have kept something like that from me and my brothers. So it was definitely a shock. But I mean, my experience with my father was never horrible, never bad. I didn't have any of those experiences until later on. Um, but that was when he was closer to when he was going to pass from this world.
Uh,
It, it's just he, his mental health issues became worse as he got older. He was diagnosed like 14 different types of medications,
wow.
and he didn't like to take them,
Yeah.
and he sometimes refused to take them, and because of that, he got substantially worse. Um, I know that like 10 years before he passed, he was stopped. He was driving
Yeah.
to a city where we used to live when I was little.
Yeah.
And he was stopped by the officer, and the officer comes up to him and asks him, "What are you doing, sir?" Because he was driving erratically, and he tells the officer, "I'm driving to the city to see my ex-wife and my kids." And he was thinking I was like 5, and I was already an adult by the time this happened. And this is what happens when he wasn't taking his medication. And when he was diagnosed, I guess early on, he was also in the Navy.
Mm.
But as far as that, I never heard any issues. But the way to treat mental health issues has changed over time as well.
Yeah.
And it was very interesting. I didn't do a lot of research, but it wasn't anything that would have been good to treat mental health.
Yeah.
Um, uh,
Yeah. No, so sorry to hear that.
yeah,
Uh, I mean, that's really a hard thing, right? For a child to see his father in that state and to hear what happened to his mother is also must be really traumatic for you. But the good thing is that you forgive him and you actually loved him too, right? You understood that he could not help it.
yeah. I mean, I've 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 always had trouble coming to grips with that because I mean, my parents were my world when I was obviously when I was growing up, and it's just my world revolved around them.
Yeah.
Uh, and I can't say I always tried, but I always tried to listen to my mother. Um, and I think also because of the way that my dad was, I was more shut in. I stayed away from other people. I didn't have a lot of friends. So
Yeah.
I think that was also something that added to, those mental health issues and the anxiety that came a little bit with it.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine, right? Like as a child, you see your father is different from the friend's father. So it must be pretty difficult for you to even like face that fact, right?
Yeah, actually, it was.
Yeah. Good. You were also talking a little bit that after you retired from the military, right? How's life been after that?
So, it was difficult, and I mean, I wouldn't say it's a daily event, but I mean, the military is a completely a different way of life, and I liked talking to other soldiers, our people, just people, and we had good rapport. I was able to talk to them; they talked to me, and we had good conversations. But once I retired, that went away,
Yeah.
and I'd have to say I mean, that brought a lot of anxiety. Not to say that I don't have a lot of friends, and I mean all started with, I'd have to say, the mental health issues that my dad had. Shouldn't blame anyone, but I mean, it's just the way that I was raised and
Yeah.
what I saw and who I am.
So keeping busy really helped you.
Yes.
Discipline and keeping busy was probably really good for yourself, right? And now you have all the time and you're trying to figure out what's the next phase of life. Being at this age is really hard.
Oh yeah. I think I think it's difficult for anyone, but I mean, trying to overcome something that's, in your genetics is, I
It's
don't
scary
know.
too, right? You don't know some things that you can't, maybe out of control.
I try not to think of that.
Okay.
My mom has told me, though, if there's ever a time where you don't feel right, please seek help. And I'm like, just thinking about that now is like, that's not good to hear.
But are you not seeking help at all
Well,
from time to
so
time?
me and my wife, we go to therapy,
Yeah.
because no, it just,
Yeah.
actually better. I mean, because of going to therapy, I'm able to express myself better,
Yeah.
and that's actually been a plus from going to therapy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, no, I understand where you're coming from. And I'm so glad that our cause is being able to help you find some meaningful work. And you're a great contributor, and I appreciate everything that you do for us.
thank you,
Great. Thank you so much, Kurt.
thank you.